order and ask Mrs. Bass to please call the roll.
District 1, Barbara McQuinn.
Here.
District 2, Chuck Shaw.
Here.
District 3, Karen Brill. Here. District 4, Erica Whitfield.
Here.
District 5, Frank Barbieri.
Here.
District 6, Marcia Andrews.
Here.
District 7, Deborah Robinson.
Let the record show all 7 board members are here, and to everybody a very happy new year. This evening, the Palm Beach Gardens High School Junior ROTC is here to present the flag and lead the Pledge of Allegiance, escorted by Master Sergeant Lawrence Patterson and Commander William Williams. And this evening, Dr. Anthony Lockhart will be leading the pledge. Immediately following, the student quartet from Palm Beach Central High School will be performing the national anthem under the direction of Mr. Scott Houchins. So please stand for the presentation of the colors, the pledge, and the national anthem.
Hard time. Arch. Inboard. Pace. Bellyguard. Halt. Raise head. Colors. Ready. Cut.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
Arch. Arch. Outboard. Pace. Out. Arch.
another round of applause.
Color. Ready. Cut. Up.
Thank you very much. And again, that was the Palm Beach Gardens High School ROTC and the student quartet from Palm Beach Central High School. And thanks to both those groups for doing a good job. And Dr. Lockhart, we won't call you back up, but I wondered if there was significance to that sweater with that A on it tonight. He didn't say anything, so I guess he's off the hook. Our first item on the agenda is approval of the minutes. Is there a motion to approve items 1 through 15? Motion by Dr. Robinson, second by Mrs. Whitfield. Any discussion? Seeing none, we'll call the question. All in favor? All opposed? Motion carries 7-0. Dr. Vosa, are there any items to add to the agenda?
We have one item for good cause, P2.
Nothing else? Any items to withdraw?
No items to withdraw.
And we have, I believe, 5 items that have been pulled. Anybody want to pull any other items? Dr. Robinson?
SSEA 3.
SSEA 3. Any other items? For the board tonight, I'd like to ask that when we do the approval of the agenda, that we take 2 items out of order. Board BRD 1 and BRD 2, those are 2 proclamations. So if we can do the motion to include that reordering of the agenda.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Barbieri, second by Mrs. Andrews. Any discussion? All in favor, all opposed. Motion carries 7-0. Superintendent and board member comments. Dr. Vosa.
Thank you. I'm going to start off by asking Dr. Ian Saltzman to come forward. He's the South Regional Superintendent, to introduce our new principal at Starlight Cove Elementary School. Dr. Saltzman?
It's coming. Lost her seat and we got to take a picture. Good evening, board members, Chairman Shaw, Vice Chairwoman Dr. Robinson, Deputy Superintendent Dr. Christensen, and Dr. Vosa, our superintendent. I am so honored tonight and excited to welcome you and welcome our new principal to Starlight Cove Elementary School, Ms. Kimberly Jules. And I'm going to welcome her right now, Ms. Kimberly Jules, to take the helm at Starlight Cove Elementary.
Good evening, Board Chairman Shaw, Vice Chairwoman Robinson, board members, Superintendent Avosa, and Deputy Superintendent Christensen. I am honored to be here tonight to be named the next principal of Starlight Cove Elementary. I began my career teaching at a school not too far from Starlight Cove, where I taught for 10 years. I have served within this district for 19 years as a teacher, a reading coach, a literacy specialist, a learning team facilitator, and assistant principal. And now this brings me to the next milestone within my educational journey, serving as principal. I would like to take a moment to acknowledge my family that's here with me tonight, my husband and 2 sons.
Please stand.
Stand
Where are you? There you go.
Just to thank them for being patient and understanding about the important job that I have. I also would like to thank my current principal, Dion Napier, and also Dr. Frank Rodriguez, Dr. Camille Coleman, Carlene Millen, and Dr. Ian Saltzman, who have provided words of encouragement and continued support at some point throughout my career. I look forward to serving the students, the parents, and the community of Starlight Cove. I am looking forward to building relationships so that we can work together, so that we can move forward with the continued successes that they've had and accomplishments. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you. Congratulations again. Next, board members, I'm going to ask Rena Blades, who has served this community for many years as the Cultural Council director and leader, and she is transitioning and wanted to share a few words about the great work and great partnership that we've had with our school district and the Cultural Council and the community at large. Ms. Rena Blades.
Thank you. Thank you, Superintendent. It's such a pleasure to be here. I've brought a few friends. We may not have quite enough chairs, but I wanted to I'm actually a private citizen today, so I don't address you as the CEO of the Cultural Council anymore. I'm on my own now, and I'm excited to be here, though, to make a few remarks and to introduce our team. Many of you know them, some of you may not. From my right, your left, our Chief Marketing Officer, Jennifer Sullivan, our Director of Development, Mary Lewis, our Chief Grants Officer, Jan Radusky, and if Erica Squire is here, if she can join us up here. Erica is our Arts Education Manager. Our interim CEO, Kathy Alex, was not available to be here tonight, but she sends her regards as well. A couple of thank yous. First, thank you to the board. This board is very supportive of our cultural sector and all that our museums and theaters do in this community. So thank you for your support through the years. It means a lot to the council, and it means a lot to the cultural sector. I want to thank in particular two of our board members here today, Erica Whitfield, who served on our board for a number of years. Erica, thank you for all your support, and also to Dr. Deborah Robinson, who's currently a board member and continues the hard work on our board, so thank you for that. A couple of really important things coming up I wanted you all to keep an eye on, and this team will bring these to you, and I know Dr. Robinson will help make sure they come before you. The most important is a brand new arts education study we are doing at the council that should be done by this summer. Jan Radusky is managing that along with Erica Squire, and it is the first time we have ever looked at the impact of the cultural sector on our school district. It will look at the impact from a standpoint of the number of kids served, where they are served, so we'll have maps of that kind of impact, and the quantitative sort of economic impact of that. And we intend to do that annually. It's funded by private donors, and I'm very proud that that work will be done this summer. We also are serving children in the building now in Lake Worth. I think all of you have been to our headquarters in Lake Worth, and I'm so happy that in the last year we've served more than 1,000 kids in that building, almost all of whom come from the Lake Worth area. We've really focused on our neighborhood. We do that in 4 forms. Field trips come, so encourage your teachers to take advantage of that. It is free to come to the council. We do once a month family Saturdays on, I think it's the second Saturday of the month. This last one, which was this weekend, actually we served more than 50 people. We do an after-school program currently just about to start as a partnership with Adopt a Family in North Grade Elementary, where we're bringing in kids to do intensive 10-week sessions. And lastly, we have an outreach program with Lantana Elementary that we're very proud of. And we continue to fund field trips. So I just want to thank you all. It's been my honor and pleasure to work with you all. I've been here almost 14 years in this role. Our interim CEO has a great hand on the rein along with this team, and there'll be a national search, and they should identify somebody in the next few months who I hope, Superintendent, you will welcome here to the board like you've welcomed me.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Board members, I have a couple of other quick little comments I want to share. Our annual investment report and the annual debt report, the Finance Committee reviewed the district's annual investment, and I'm happy to share with you that the total interest earning for 2017 was $6 million. These are dollars that come right back to the school system. With the assistance of your Finance Committee, the district has saved over $162 million through the way that they actively address our debt management. Continuing with the finance piece is the Comprehensive Annual Financial Report, the CAFR. I know that people, sometimes forget, but, when you're an organization this large with a multi-billion-dollar budget, it is difficult to manage that many moving parts. But I'm proud to share with you that there were no findings in the FY17 management letter related to the financial statements on federal awards, and a clean opinion with no findings is a significant achievement for a district of our size. Can we please give our finance department and groups a big round of applause? And as we reflect back on 2017, we're certainly proud of the partnership we had with the county to deal with the hurricanes. I do want to share with you the lasting impact on the hurricanes in our community. We've registered to date, as of December the 8th, 418 students who've been impacted by hurricanes. The vast majority are from Puerto Rico, with over 325 students moving to Palm Beach County and enrolling in our schools from Puerto Rico. The remainder, which is about 100 students, came from Texas and Virgin Islands and other Caribbean nations. So I want to thank all the teachers and faculty and staff that have welcomed these young children who've been impacted by the hurricane. And then lastly, and most importantly, really about the work that we do here, I am so proud to report that the 2017 official graduation data has come back, and it is extraordinary. It's a testament to this school board, it's a testament to the community at large, but particularly to our teachers who work every day in the classroom to make sure kids reach their full potential. A couple of slides I want to run through. This is really critical. The first one is we made a goal that we wanted to hit 90% graduation rate in 5 years, and I am pleased to tell you that we've officially reached that goal 3 years early. Let's give ourselves a round of applause for that. I also want to acknowledge, if you look at the screen, from 2013 to FY17, our district-run schools went from 81% to 90%, and charter schools have seen also a dramatic increase, and they pull their weight in some cases with students who are in a hard space, right, and difficult place, and we don't want to give up on anybody. So I do want to congratulate the charters for their improvement as well. The next slide, which to me is the most important, because our African American and Latino students have traditionally been behind their white peers, we have made a concerted effort over the last 2.5 years to really focus on those achievement gaps. And I will tell you, and we should take this with a lot of pride, we now have the #1 black graduation rate among all large districts in the state of Florida, with a 10% increase in just 2 years. So you can see that all of our groups, whether they're Caucasian, Hispanic, or African American, have seen increases, and we continue to lead the pack across the large urban districts. And you see that change from 2013 to 17 for African American students is stunning. It's a slow and steady progress, but the last 2 years have been 10 percentage points, and I think we should be proud of that. We now lead, like I said, the entire group with some significant improvements. On the Latino side, our students now are graduating at 83%, an 8-point increase. Can we give these young men and women, their families and community, also a big round of applause? Of course, we're a little competitive. We're in 3rd place here, but only by like a few tenths of a percent. So, next year, hopefully, we'll be able to say that this group also leads the large urbans. And then our Caucasian students have also seen an increase. We now are at almost 91%, only behind Orlando. Of course, I called Barbara Jenkins, the superintendent there, and said, next year, we'll move ahead of you, so don't get too excited. But the reality is these are real kids that are solving a really difficult and navigating a really difficult space, in some cases with community members helping them go across that finish line. So to the teachers, the parents, the community members, our advocacy groups that continue to pressure us to do a better job, this is the result of all of us working together. So again, for all the young men and women who've achieved that, let's give them another round of applause. And we're going to do something special because the reality is this is a special moment. We're going to be calling up each individual principal, but I want you to understand that behind each of these great leaders, these men and women, there are hundreds of teachers, hundreds of volunteers, hundreds of people who should also be here, but as the principal, they're going to be representing them tonight. We have now 19 schools within our district that are at 90% graduation rate, and there's a ton of great news, but I'm particularly proud of schools that have seen impressive improvements over the last 5 years. Dr. Christensen, if you will, go ahead and call those folks up, and we're going to have them come up here. We've got a nice banner, and we're going to do just a quick shout out to the great work that's happening in our schools.
Thank you, Dr. Vosa. These results are so impressive, and the culmination of 13 years of hard work, kindergarten through 12th grade. Each elementary, middle, and high school teacher deserves credit. And not only that, our parents loving and caring their children, they deserve credit, and community partners like the Coalition for Black Student Achievement, who invest time and energy to help guide and support the work. So at this time, we'd like to actually recognize these amazing results of our dedicated school leaders who show us what the promise of equity can look like when we close opportunity and achievement gaps. So principals, we're going to call you up one by one. Just say a quick statement. First, from Atlantic High School, Tara Del Gradi Ocampo. Principal Ocampo is in her third year leading Atlantic High School, where the graduation rate has increased 7% over the last 7 years. They're now at 91.5%. Let's hear it for Atlantic High School. Boca Raton High School, Dr. Suzanne King, leading Boca Raton for the last 2 years. Principal King has continued outstanding success. Nearly 8% increase in graduation rate over a 7-year period. They are now at 93.8%. Let's hear it for Boca High. Boynton Beach High, we're going to have 2 folks, Fred Barsh, who was there the last 3 years, and also our present principal, Goran Sims, are going to come on up. Fred Barsh served as principal the last 4 years, and Boynton Beach has increased their graduation rate 9 points in 5 years. They're now at 86.1%. Dreyfus, Dr. Susan Atherley is not able to be with us today, but Dreyfus High School benefits from the leadership of Principal Atherley. Graduation rate has been at 99 or 100% over the last 7 years. So let's hear it for Dreyfus. Dwyer High School, Joe DePasquale, a graduation rate of 91% now, is a 12% increase at Dwyer over the last 7 years. Let's hear it for Dwyer High. Forest Hill High School, Dr. Mary Stratos. Principal Stratos is in her 6th year leading Forest Hill. They're now at a graduation of 89.3, almost to 90, an increase of 10% over the last 5 years. Let's hear it for Forest Hill. Glade Central High School, Angela Moore. Leading Glade Central for the last 4 years, Principal Moore has realized a 13% increase and the highest improvement over the last year, 84.2%. Let's hear it for Glade Central.
Are all out there? Oh, okay.
Go Raiders. John I. Leonard. Ed Tierney has been principal and served as for the last 4 years, and our present principal is Melissa Patterson. Their graduation rate has increased 22% over the last 5 years. Dramatic difference for Ed and Melissa. Jupiter High School, Dr. Colleen Iannetti. Jupiter High School benefits from her 2nd year of leadership. The graduation rate is now 92.9%, increase of 4% over the last 4 years. Lake Worth High School, Dr. Elvis Epps, who has served since mid-year last year. It's now an increase of 7% this past year, the 3rd best increase in our school system, thanks to the leadership of his team who began their service last year. So let's hear it for Lake Worth High. Olympic Heights, Dave Clark. This is our highest graduation rate of any traditional high school is Olympic Heights High School. They're now almost at 96%. Principal Clark has led that increase over his last 7 years. 16% increase over 7 years. Let's hear from Mr. Clark. Pahokee High School, Michael Aronson. In his 2nd year, Principal Aronson continues to lead Pahokee High. They've recognized an 18% increase. They're now at 92.2%. Let's hear it for Pahokee. Go Blue Devils. Palm Beach Central High, Darren Edgecombe, leading Palm Beach Central for 4 years. Principal Edgecombe has grown the school to a nearly 3% increase. They're now at 94% graduation rate. Palm Beach Gardens High School, Larry Clausen. This is really exceptional. Palm Beach Gardens High School has been under Clausen's leadership for the last 9 years. The graduation rate has increased 20 percentage points during his time at Gardens High School and definitely closed the achievement gap with Black and Hispanic students, now at 93.4%. Palm Beach Lakes High School, Dave Alfonso. Palm Beach Lakes has recognized a 15% graduation rate over the last 4 years, now at 82.8%, thanks to the leadership of Principal Alfonso and Cheryl McKeever. Kudos to Palm Beach Lakes. Park Vista High School, Reggie Myers. Principal Myers is in his 10th year leading Park Vista High School. Graduation rate now 95.2%. They've increased 5% over the last 7 years. Let's hear it for Park Vista. Royal Palm Beach High School, Dr. Jesus Armas. Leading Royal Palm Beach for the last 8 years, Principal Armas has grown the school 15% increase. They are now at 91%. Let's hear for Royal Palm Beach High School. Santa Lucis High School, Tamika Robinson. In her 4th year, Principal Robinson continues to lead Santa Lucis High School forward. They've increased the graduation rate 18%. They're now at 92%. Seminole Ridge High School, Dr. James Campbell. Seminole Ridge High School benefits from 7 years of leadership by Principal Campbell. Graduation rate is now 86.5%, 4% increase over the last 4 years. Spanish River High School, William Latson, 5% is the graduation increase at Spanish River High School over the last 4 years. They're now at a 95.6%, right on the heels of Olympic Heights, thanks to the leadership of Principal Latson. Thank you, Spanish River. Suncoast High School, Miss Karen Wetzel. Principal Wetzel is in her 2nd year, and their graduation rate is 100%. Every child walking across that stage.
I did.
Wellington High School, we have our new leader who just started, Kara Hayden, and also our leader for the past several years, Mario Crescetti. New to the leadership of Wellington, Principal Hayden has officially taken the reins. Graduation rate at Wellington High now at 92%, an increase of 9% over the last 7 years. West Boca High School, Craig Summer. In his 3rd year, Principal Summer continues to lead West Boca High School. The graduation rate has increased 6% over the last 4 years, now sitting at 94.3%. Village Academy, LaToya Dixon. Village Academy, like Suncoast, boasts a 100% graduation rate. And now we'd like to recognize some of our alternative and special centers. Crossroads Academy, Dr. Diane Howard. The graduation rate at Crossroads has doubled over the last 2 years thanks to the leadership of Principal Howard, who's been serving the school for nearly 10 years. South Intensive Transition, Reggie Judy. Intensive South is not rated, but the school is proud of the leadership of Principal Judy, who's been serving the school for nearly 3 years. Dr. Kevin Gatlin. Principal Gatlin is in his 1st year leading Turning Points. We want to acknowledge his outstanding work at this school in improving the graduation rate. And at Riviera Beach Prep, over the last 2.5 years, Elaine Hubbard-Williams, with assistance this year from Principal on Assignment Tim Abrams, they've realized more than a 50% increase in the graduation rate at Riviera Beach Prep during her leadership. And finally, Indian Ridge Special Center, Dr. Natalie Cromwell. Graduation at Indian Ridge School has doubled over the last 4 years thanks to the leadership of Principal Cromwell, who's been serving the school for over 3 years. And our final school, Royal Palm Special Center, thank you, who just celebrated their 75th year serving our children. Royal Palm Center has doubled their graduation rate over the last 3 years, thanks to the leadership of Principal Henry. Let's hear it for Royal Palm.
She's good at that. She told him what to do. Yeah, that's right.
Dr. Christensen? And just for the record, the guy in the dark blue suit is the one that counts. That guy. Well, yeah, so big smiles for the district photo, please.
1, 2, 3.
Thank you, ladies.
Thank you so much.
But
You gonna make it
I
right now?
don't think I will. Maybe I should. No, I'm not going to.
That concludes the superintendent's comments. Thank you.
Board member comments. We'll start with Mrs. McQuinn.
Good evening, Happy New Year. I don't usually use all of my time, but it will take most of it tonight. I'm going to speak to an item on the consent agenda. I'm actually going to brag about an item on the consent agenda, item TL2, which is a data sharing agreement with the school district and the Center for Creative Education, which I will call CCE. It's been my privilege to serve on the as the school board's representative on the board of CCE, which is located in West Palm Beach, Northwood. CCC provides an arts-integrated instructional intervention program to improve language arts and communication skills as part of a larger strategy to help ensure that all students are reading at grade level by 3rd grade. The focus is on Title I schools that are underperforming and have a high percentage of non-white students. The ultimate goal for this program is to determine the impact that 4 consecutive years, kindergarten through 3rd grade, of arts integration can have an impact on language arts skills. The goal for CCC is to provide a national model that improves language arts skills for our students at most risk of academic failure. Data coming. The results to date are very promising. The 2015-16 pilot at Barton Elementary indicated huge gains in just 1 year on the 2nd grade spring diagnostic test. 2 control group classrooms of non-arts integration classes had a proficiency score of 22 and 26%, which was consistent with the school's historic performance. 3 arts integration classes achieved scores of 59%, 64%, and 83%, while the district's overall proficiency score for the year was 63%. Also, 3 ESOL, ELL today, cluster arts integration classes outperformed the mean scores in the region and the school district at large. Today, CCE is following iReady performance and has demonstrated significant impact. Of 418 students in an iReady class summary report, 80% met or exceeded target growth. CCE has committed to over $1.5 million to our school district for this initiative, and we are very appreciative of the Center for Creative Education's work with our students. Thank you.
Thank you. Mrs. Whitfield.
Thank you so much. Happy New Year, everyone. I'm so happy we're back. I have a couple of items I wanted to talk to you briefly about today. The first of which, I wanted to congratulate North Grade Elementary. Over the holiday, Mr. Wojtek, their Media Center Specialist, won an award for an Orange Bowl Media Center makeover in the amount of $45,000, which is just huge, and it's going to go such a long way to remaking their media center. So I wanted to give him congratulations, and also I wanted to thank the author, Christina Diaz-Gonzalez, who writes children's books and was at North Grade and Grassy Waters today. This is one of her books, which was so exciting to be able to purchase at the school there today. She is a Cuban-American writer, and she did half her presentation in Spanish and the other half in English, which is so important for our dual language students to be able to see such a successful person up there and speaking in the language that they are either learning or that they were born speaking. So I think that's a really, really wonderful thing, and I wanted to recognize both of them. Secondly, I wanted to thank Lantana, the city of Lantana, the town of Lantana, because recently I went there and received a proclamation. They have proclaimed this month School Board Recognition Month, and I brought the proclamation. I'm going to pass it to my fellow board members. I wanted to just recognize that they are thanking us for all of our work as a school board entirely. So I wanted to make sure to show them that, and they say how much they appreciate the schools in their community and everything that the district does for them. So I wanted to thank them for that recognition. Third, I wanted to give a quick shout out to everyone who worked this past weekend at the Kids Mile at the South Florida Fairgrounds. So many teachers and students participate in this. They run a total of 25 miles throughout the year leading up to this moment, and then they run the last mile that day. And Mr. Shaw, Mrs. McQuinn, and I were out there, and we were able to pass out the medals to the students as they crossed the finish line. And I had such a great time, and I love seeing the families come out and put that focus on wellness and health, and how much they worked for that moment to be able to be there. So I wanted to thank everyone who coordinated that. And then lastly, I just wanted to express my gratitude for the ability to be able to go to Tallahassee last week. I felt that it was such a great use of time. I was able to be up there with other fellow board members as well, Ms. Marcia Andrews and Mrs. McQuinn, and we were able to speak to our legislators, and we talked about a lot of the issues. It's such a good time to do a face-to-face. We also had staff up there, which I think is really important because Palm Beach County is so far from Tallahassee that when Dr. Avosa and Dr. Christensen are able to be in a room with our legislators on their turf, I think it means so much to them to be able to understand the issues on a more personal level. So I really enjoyed the opportunity to be able to do that, and I hope that we were able to go up there and speak on your behalf. So thank you so much, and have a great rest of your year. Thank you.
Thank you. Mrs. Brill.
Thank you. Welcome back, everybody. And contrary to Mrs. McGuinn, I usually take all my time and then some. But tonight I'm going to be very brief because I was going to talk about the graduation rate. But now I won't, except to say that the success of our district is a testament to all the hard work of our teachers, principals, parents, guardians, and teachers. It takes a village, and I am so very proud of the village that we have. So thank you very much, and I just will tell everybody that tonight all of us need to bundle up. Have a good night.
Thank you. Mr. Barbieri.
Yes, like Mrs. Brill, I wanted to brag on the high school graduation rate, and Dr. Avosa kind of took the thunder away. But I do want to recognize, I have 4 high schools in my district. I'm very proud of our entire district for the performance. But the 4 high schools in my district all are above 90%. Especially, I want to congratulate Olympic Heights, which has the highest graduation rate of any non-magnet high school in the district. And also, I want to congratulate West Boca High School. Mr. Summers taken that over the last 3 years from an 87% graduation rate to 94.3%. So congratulations to Dr. King at Boca High, Mr. Clark at Olympic Heights, Mr. Latson at Spanish River, and Mr. Summer at West Boca High School. You make me proud. All my high schools are above 93% graduation rate. So thank you for your hard work.
Thank you. Mrs. Andrews.
And good afternoon, and Happy New Year to everyone. It was truly exciting to see all of the principals and to see the graduation rates. I mean, when you talk about making a difference in the lives of all of the children and you talk about graduation rates, it's a big deal. Graduation, the most important part of a student's life. They start in kindergarten, and when they can graduate, it means so much. So congratulations to all of the principals for your improvements for the students and their lives. It means everything. But tonight I want to say to you that just celebrating this past Monday and last week, the Dr. Martin Luther King holiday. I mean, the excitement and the celebrations really touched my heart this year more than any other time. I always celebrate, but I saw so many activities last week and Monday. And when we think about Dr. King's vision and his spirit for nonviolence, for equity and equality, for all races working together and getting along. As we think about our country now, it means so much more than ever before that we are one and we work together. Dr. King believed in education. When we sit and talk about the graduation rate and we see the action of our schools and what's going on, that's the dream. That's Dr. Martin Luther King's dream. And when we think about peace and harmony and loving one another and no fighting, that's a part of the dream. So many people did service activities on Monday and last week in their communities, feeding the hungry, going to nursing homes, touching people. I saw that. And the participation was by students as well as adults. But a special thank you goes out to all of those students, the parents, the principals, the schools. I saw you in those parades. I too was in several myself. I saw the students participate in the oratorical contests over the last few days. Many of them won prizes. I saw the bands marching, the little ones in the elementary school. Our arts programs are growing more and more, the middle school bands and the high school bands, coming out into the communities, celebrating the dream of being together as one. It means so much. So when we think of Dr. King, we can look at our graduation rates. We can look at Palm Beach County School District. We are living the dream, and we are making it happen. So I thank everybody for doing the part that you did over the last few days as we recognize Dr. King's birthday, but for all of the things we do every single day for the dream. And last week, too, I did go to Tallahassee. I thought it was very beneficial. I plan to go back again next month with the Florida School Boards Association and continue my discussions with all of the legislators as it relates to our priorities. We've got to keep the communications line open because we must have change in Tallahassee. I must say our legislative delegation is awesome. They get it, but now we're trying to pass the word to others to let them know the kind of things that's needed to help our students, teachers, and our communities. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Andrews. Dr. Robinson.
Thank you, and Happy New Year's. I was not going to talk about the graduation rate because I was afraid I was going to cry, but Mrs. Andrews got me going already, so I've already cried. So, and all I have to say is thank you for everybody who heard me, because this tremendous graduation rate increase for Black students, you know, it's something I have been talking about for many, many years. And so I already did the happy dance, so I'm gonna get it back together and talk about other things. But thank you, everybody that has worked so hard, and we're not done, right? We're not done, right? So, okay, I'm gonna get on point and restart the clock, okay? Okay, so I want to first start out with some good news. And I want to thank Found Care for taking a chance and supporting improved health for the students and staff at Palm Beach Lakes High School. You may know that there was a health clinic at Palm Beach Lakes for quite a few years that was initially run by the health department and then the healthcare district. and for reasons that I shall not go into, they pulled out. So I started shopping for someone to run the clinic at Palm Beach Lakes. Well, Found Care stepped up and decided that they would fill that gap for us and for the Palm Beach Lakes community. Well, and why this is so significant, because I think last meeting we approved leases for health clinics at Atlantic High School and Boynton Beach High School, but they have a funding stream through the state. Found Care does not. So Found Care is stepping up and taking a chance to support improved health for the Palm Beach Lakes community. So I just want to thank the CEO, Yolette Bonet, and her leadership team for stepping into that gap. And I want you to applaud them. They are taking a business risk, okay? And so now I'm going to go into my Black History fact for the month. So, and I want you to know that on January 12th, our country and my sorority lost two great women, Frankie Muse Freeman Esquire and Dr. Mona Bailey Humphreys. National civil rights attorney and activist Frankie Muse Freeman passed away at the age of 101. She had graduated from Hampton Institute, which is now Hampton University, and of course she received her law degree from where? Howard University in 1947. While a student at Howard, she became a member of Epsilon Sigma Iota sorority, which was the first American legal sorority for women of color. She was the first woman appointed to the U.S. Commission on Civil Rights, where she served from 1964 to 1979. She was Inspector General for the Community Services Agency during Jimmy Carter's administration, and she also served as a municipal court judge. In recent years, she served on President Obama's Commission on Presidential Scholars. Just a couple of months ago, a bronze statue was dedicated in her honor, and it depicts her walking away from the old courthouse after leaving the 1954 landmark case Davis et al. Versus the St. Louis Housing Authority, which resulted in the end of legal racial discrimination in St. Louis public housing. She was the lead attorney on the case. Her favorite color, of course, was red, and she served as the 14th national president of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. Dr. Mona Humphreys Bailey was the first Miss FAMU. Prior to that, it was Miss FAMC. And she graduated from FAMU with a bachelor's in chemistry in 1954. She earned her master's of science in science education from Oregon State University and her PhD in educational administration from the University of Washington. She served in many positions in education, including faculty at universities, deputy superintendent of Seattle Public Schools, assistant state superintendent of public instruction for the state of Washington, as well as being the chair of the state board for Washington's Math, Engineering, Science, and Achievement program. She was a Rattler, having graduated, of course, from FAMU, but she served on the board of the Mary McLeod Bethune Memorial Museum Foundation, as well as on the National Board of Trans-Africa. Time will now allow me to list all of her accomplishments, but know that she was the 17th national president of Delta Sigma Theta sorority. So we lost two great public servants on the same day, and actually just one day before our 105th Founders Day celebration. So the shoulders on which I stand are strong, and they are models of accomplishment and service for all of us. So please remember these two great women, and we should make sure our students know about these two great women. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Robinson. I'm going to add one real quick comment about the Kids Mile that Mrs. Whitfield and Mrs. McQuinn and I participate in, and that's to recognize we had over 2,000 Palm Beach County elementary children who did the mile on Saturday, and it was an amazing experience. So if any of you, is there anybody in the room that had children who were there? Do we have anybody? No, I did see one back there, but congratulations to all of them. The second comment is the political comment of the day. Over the last year or two, we have heard comments coming out of some of the leadership in Tallahassee about how schools are failure factories. And I think that all of us sitting in this room tonight can send a message to those people in Tallahassee who don't believe in public education and are doing everything they can to hurt us, to show that we actually did something. And all of the parents in this room, all of the teachers, all the principals, we are working for the benefit of these children. I think it needs to be well known that that's the case. The other thing, we asked the board to please take 2 items out of order tonight, and that's a proclamation related to 2 people who had been very, very involved in education and community service in this county for many, many years, and we have 2 proclamations tonight. So when Dr. Avosa gives the recommendation and the board votes on each one, the first one is for Don Wilson, and the second one is Dr. Ed Easy. Dr. Robinson's going to present the resolution to the Wilson family. I believe Glenda Wilson and Pierre Wilson. Glenda is Don's wife. Both of them are here tonight, so if you all would please come forward. And then on the Easy family, we have Mark and Wendy Easy will be here to present the, Mrs. McQuinn will be doing that. So Dr. Vos is a recommendation on item number 1, BRD1.
BRD1, I recommend the board approve and ratify the proclamation to honor and recognize Don Wilson.
Motion by Dr. Robinson, second by Mrs. Andrews. Any discussion? While Dr. Robinson's going down there, I had known and worked with Don for well over 40-some years, and was a very special friend and somebody who has given so much to education. And I wish we had an hour to recognize all of the things that Don did during the time that he was in the school district. So, and if the board members would like to go down, please go ahead down. So, and did we vote? As they're down, all those in favor of the motion, aye. All of those opposed, none. Motion carries 7-0. Yeah. Thank you very much. The next item is BRD2. Dr. Vosa.
I recommend the board approve and ratify the proclamation to honor and recognize Dr. Edward Easy.
Is there a motion? Motion by Mrs. McQuinn, second by Mrs. Whitfield. Any discussion? All in favor? All opposed? We got the student. Dr. Easy had been a teacher in Palm Beach County, an administrator or principal, and served as president of Palm Beach Junior College for many years, and was, I believe, the mayor of North Palm Beach for, Mrs. McQuinn, do you know how long? But it was for quite a while he served in that position.
It was quite a while, and let's not forget the first principal of Howell L. Watkins Middle School and the very first principal of Palm Beach Gardens High School.
Right. And for any of you in the room who ever took any of the safety patrol trips, Dr. Easy also was one of the people who served as a leader of the safety patrol trips. And so was Don Wilson involved with the patrol trips too, and I think that's where I first met him. So at this time, our student government report.